And of course, the capture of Whitey Bulger grabbed plenty of headlines this year. And as 2011 draws to a close, WPRI.com is taking a look at all of the stories that made waves here in the Ocean State. And for more on that, we're joined by WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi. And we just talked about the capture of Whitey Bulger, but there were other big organized crime stories this year.
That's right, Nneka. Big year for organized crime stories. Sort of a reminder that this has not gone away. The mafia and the mob, which started with Baby Shacks, the reputed longtime boss, in a crackdown in January. Then we had Whitey Bulger, which has been a huge story all year. And we've also seen familiar names pop up recently. Bobo Marapese, a well-known name around here, popped up again. So it's a reminder, as law enforcement always says, that organized crime is still a big issue in Rhode Island.
Definitely a big issue in 2011. Another big issue, probably the biggest story in politics, pensions. And you wrote a lot about that on WPRI.com.
That I did. A lot of words on pensions. All of us did. You were there with me too. It was really kind of a stunning turn of events we had this year with the pension crisis. Nobody saw this coming a year ago, that such dramatic changes would be made this year, but it was sort of a mix of Gina Raimondo being a dynamic new leader and the fiscal problems the state is having, and it got a lot of attention. 72% of Rhode Islanders in the most recent Brown poll said they were paying some attention to it, so that's a lot of people paying attention to what happened.
Right. And moving on to weather. Can't talk about 2011 without talking about weather. We had a snowstorm in January, October, Tropical Storm Irene, then we felt the earthquake from down south.
Yeah,
so we had a lot going on.
It was a little wacky. You know, I was looking back when you and I were talking earlier about what went on in the year, and we had, you said Irene, which didn't seem that bad at the time, but then we had two-thirds of the state lost electricity. We had the snowstorms in January and then in October. Those tornadoes in western Massachusetts, which were stunning. Yeah, the tornadoes. That was a wild thing we don't usually see. And then we actually kind of a warm autumn, which doesn't make as many headlines for us, but it's sort of a strange thing. So, you know, there's nothing like the weather that keeps people talking.
And it's been warm so far. We're expecting some colder temps. I'm sure TJ will tell us about that.
I'm sure he will.
Thank you, Ted. And for more, of course, you can read all the recaps on the newsworthy stories of 2011 on Ted's blog, Nesi's Notes, and also check in our Year in Review section on WPRI.com.